Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Head coach Josh Heupel provided a brief update on the injury of Hendon Hooker during the SEC teleconference last night in the way that Josh Heupel does. We'll get into that. We'll talk about it. We're also going to talk a little bit about Joe Milton, the quarterback situation, and also a good comment from Velus Jones. We'll get all of that coming up here in just a second. As always, do me a favor. Go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. If you would so kindly press that thumbs up. If you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are fans just like you. If you enjoy the content here, be sure to subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. Make sure you join us live Saturday immediately following the game. But also, we're going to do a tailgate show about an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff where you, the listener, can come on, hang out with us. We're also going to have a couple of guests. Jonathan Ward back from the 157 show to give his thoughts on the Alabama side of things. And then we'll also have Antonio Bryce, comic book writer and a fan of the Alabama Crimson Tide, on to hang out for a few minutes before we get you guys on the show. But make sure you tune in for that. Again, hit that thumbs up. Now let's jump right into it. Article from 24/7 Sports, written by Patrick Brown, says Heupel updates Hendon Hooker's status for Alabama game here. It says Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel said Wednesday that quarterback Hendon Hooker has practiced some this week after suffering an apparent knee injury late in last week's loss to Ole Miss, and his status for Saturday's game at fourth-ranked Alabama is still to be determined. The Vols appear to have avoided a significant injury with their best quarterback, given he is already doing some things in practice after he left the field, putting no weight on his right leg just a few days ago. Heupel said Monday didn't think Hooker had suffered a long-term injury. Let's start there. That's huge news. That is huge news for this Tennessee program moving forward. I think most of us have written off Alabama and Georgia. Let's just be honest. Let's shoot straight. Let's be real. Most of us are not expecting anything more than this football team to go down there, fight and compete, give their all. But what we are looking at, we've got that Kentucky game circled on the schedule of remaining games. Tennessee can have an opportunity to go get that win. Looking at 6 to 7 wins on the season, right where we need to be. I'm happy with what this coaching staff is doing with this roster. Obviously, the number of transfers, the number of scholarship players. Very satisfied to this point. But I think most of us have that Kentucky game circled on the calendar, so it's good that Hendon Hooker is already participating in practice. Some of us feared he was out for the year. But let's go on and see what it says here, whether or not he's going to be available for Alabama. It says the head coach has been very vague in his injury updates throughout the season. And again, didn't delve into any specifics with Hooker's situation, only saying what he usually does, that his status for the Alabama game would be determined this week. Look, we've heard it, right? We heard it with Cooper Mays. We heard it with Tyon Evans. Heupel said last week that everybody other than Juwan Mitchell was good to go. That wasn't quite the case. We didn't see Tyon Evans. We didn't see Cooper Mays. A lot of guys out. A lot of guys banged up. Need to get to this bye week after the Alabama game. Get healthy for Kentucky. And that's kind of my question here. The article says the Virginia Tech transfer has injected life into Tennessee since taking over for Joe Milton in the first half of the Pitt game, averaging nearly 289 yards of total offense per game, accounting for 18 total touchdowns with just one interception on the season, and ranking 5th nationally and 2nd in the SEC in passer rating. Man, going into this season, we all, the quarterback situation, that's all we talked about. There were people on board with Harrison Bailey, people on board with Joe Milton, and then Hendon Hooker quietly sneaks in, wins over this fan base. We're no longer talking about quarterbacks. It's good that this is not a long-term injury, but with Alabama right around the corner, what does Josh Heupel do? What does this coaching staff do? Do you throw Joe Milton to the Wolves? Do you throw Harrison Bailey to the Wolves? My question is, do you give Hendon Hooker time if he's healthy? The fact that he was doing things in practice already on Tuesday, but then again yesterday, I think Hendon Hooker's a gamer. If he's ready to go, he's going to go. But we need him to be healthy. And you're looking at a 2-week time frame. Alabama, then the bye week, to get this football team healthy and ready to go for the home stretch. Kentucky. Obviously, you've got that Georgia game mixed in there, but then South Alabama and Vanderbilt. Those are the 3 games, Kentucky, South Alabama, and Vanderbilt, that this team needs to take care of. But everybody's talking about, what are we going to do? The article here says, it's talking about The question marks at injury: Tylen Evans, Cade Mays, Alontae Taylor departed the games at different points, but the biggest one being Hendon Hooker. Says here, if Hendon Hooker can't go, Tennessee's available scholarship quarterbacks would be Michigan transfer Milton, who started the first 2 games of the season before getting hurt, and sophomore Harrison Bailey, whose lone snaps this season came in the fourth quarter against Tennessee Tech. You know, I made a video kind of talking about this with Joe Milton. Very frustrated with Joe Milton and the way he went out on that last play. Made it very, very well known how I felt about that. There's a difference between effort and a mistake, a mental mistake, a mental error. We kind of touched on it during the live stream. Dauber brought up the point that, you know, it's a mental error to not put the ball up into the air and give your wide receivers a chance to go make a play to win the game. But it's effort. When you make the decision to run, when you make the mental error, you know, it is what it is. You have an opportunity to go make a play with your feet and you step out of bounds. I was not happy. I cannot tolerate a lack of effort. But let me tell you something I do like, because Joe Milton is a part of this Tennessee program. He's a part of the team. We talked about the culture, the family atmosphere, everything that Josh Heupel has built in Knoxville. Do you quit on family? Do you call out family forever? Yeah, maybe you hold them accountable, but you don't quit on them. There's a quote here from Velus Jones after practice that I really liked, because they asked him about Joe Milton. A lot of the players were upset on the field when they saw him step out of bounds. Velus Jones says, us as a team, we know we could have all done things differently to change the outcome of the game. It's like I said, it's part of the game. At the end of the day, it's behind us. We encourage no matter what. This is what I really like. Velus Jones again after practice. I was encouraged when I dropped the punt, muffed the punt. This is what we do. We uplift each other because we're going to need Joe. We're going to need Joe. I love it. Stands by his guy. We're going to need everybody to stay together and stay close throughout this season. We've still got a long season ahead of us. We're just going to learn from these mistakes, get in the film room, and get back to work. Great quote from Velus Jones there. Talking about Joe Milton. We're going to need Joe. Having his back, lifting him up, staying close. That's the difference in a Jeremy Pruitt coach team that completely falls apart and a Josh Heupel coach team that sticks together. Family, the culture is changed. No more trying to change, going to change. It is changed. We're seeing a football team go out and fight and compete every single week for 60 minutes, no matter what the media says, no matter what the fans say. These guys, backs against the wall, go out and they compete. They did it Saturday against Ole Miss. They've done it all year long, and that's why on Saturday against Alabama, no matter what the spread says, no matter what the predictions are, if Hendon Hooker's healthy, Hendon Hooker's going to go out there and compete and give his all and try to win that game. There's not going to be any of this, well, Boogie, let's just roll over and let's just take the loss to Alabama, get healthy, and move forward. Nope, that's not what this team's about. That's not what this team is built on. This team is going to go compete on Saturday. Now, who's going to lead them out at quarterback if Hooker's not healthy? Whew, got a little fired up there, guys. Says, since losing the starting job, Milton replaced Hooker after he left the Florida and Ole Miss games with injury, and also got mop-up series late in the blowout to Missouri. He entered the game against the Rebels with 18 seconds left. Tennessee trying to win the game. Goes on to talk about, completed a couple of passes, got him down the field, and then scrambled out at the end. During the SEC teleconference, they asked Josh Heupel what he likes about Joe Milton. Says he's competitive inside the building in the way that he prepares. Does care about his teammates in a great way. There's been some things he's done at a really high level in the pass game and in the run game too. And there's been some times where he hasn't executed the way he's fully capable of. At that point, that's the growth of maturity and maturation of a quarterback. He's got to continue to grow. So we're just a couple of days away from Tennessee taking on Alabama on the road. Big-time game, huge underdogs. I don't know that Hendon Hooker is going to be good to go. I like that it's not long-term. I like that he is participating in practice. But I just don't know that he's going to get the go-ahead, especially the way we've seen things play out with Cooper, the way we've seen it play out with Tylen Evans. I think Josh Heupel wants Alabama to be preparing for Hendon Hooker. So it brings us back to the question I've asked before, guys. I asked it earlier in the week when Hooker's status was a little more unknown. Who do you go to? Do you go Joe Milton or do you go Harrison Bailey? Because early in the week I was pretty upset with the effort of Joe Milton. Still not happy with it. But I failed to mention in that video, there's a lot of message board rumors out there that Harrison Bailey wants to redshirt so that he can transfer at the end of the year. If that's the case, could be why you're seeing so much Joe Milton. Maybe not. I don't know. It's message board rumors, guys. But I truly believe that Josh Heupel is going to trot Joe Milton out there. I do. If Hendon Hooker can't go, I think it's going to be Milton. Hopefully you coach him up, and I hope he got a long lecture about effort. But leave me a comment, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know where you fit on this thing. Do you give up? Do you fold? Do you just roll over, get everybody healthy, get through the bye week, and go try to take care of Kentucky? Or do you go out and you compete? Third Saturday in October. Hasn't even felt like a game week. We've been talking about Jeremy Pruitt. We've been talking about the good effort made by Vol Nation to raise money for the East Tennessee Children's Hospital. That's a great effort. If you missed that video yesterday, go back and check it out and see what Vol Nation is doing. But just a lot of talk about other stuff outside of the game itself as Tennessee gets ready to take on Alabama. But leave me your comments. Let me know. As always, if you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. The link to that is in the description below. I'll also drop it in the comments. Thank you guys for all the support. We hit 9,000 subscribers this week. That is because of you, the way that you share the videos, the way that you support this channel. It means more than you'll ever know. As I said at the beginning, it is kind of a spill. It's a bit, but we are just fans. We are exactly like you guys that just happen to have a YouTube channel that you guys support, and we appreciate it. That's going to wrap it up for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange. We don't give a damn what the